Welcome to Cheater Confessions. Let's get started with today's story. Sharon texted me at 7:12 p.m. Hey babe, I'll be late tonight. Client prep ran long. Don't wait up, okay? I typed back a simple, no problem, good luck. Then I set my phone down and kept watching the game. There was nothing strange about it. Sharon worked in marketing, and late nights before client pitches were normal. Around 8:30 I got bored. I started scrolling through social media, half paying attention. That's when I saw it. A post from Nathan, one of Sharon's younger coworkers. The kind of guy who shared every team lunch, every birthday cake, every drink. He'd uploaded a short clip captioned "Team Celebration" from a rooftop bar downtown. It was loud and messy, but halfway through the clip, I caught it. Sharon, sitting on Scott's lap. He was her boss. His arm was wrapped around her waist. Her hand rested lightly on his shoulder. She was laughing with a drink in hand. The video was only 5 seconds, but that was enough. I paused it, watched it again. Once, twice. The smile never left my face, but something inside me shifted, like a lock turning. I didn't text her. I didn't call. I replayed it again and hit save. I took still frames, stored them in a private folder, and uploaded a copy to my secure drive. I wasn't angry. I wasn't even surprised. For weeks, small details had piled up. Late nights, vague answers, that constant half smile when she mentioned work trips. I'd suspected something. But now, I didn't need to guess. I had evidence. The post vanished 20 minutes later, probably deleted when Nathan realized what he'd uploaded. But it didn't matter. The image was already mine. Then I muted her messages and opened my laptop. If Sharon wanted to play this like a game, I already knew the rules better than she did. I'm not the jealous type. I work as the Director of Risk and Vendor Integrity for a medical tech company. My job is to make sure people don't cross lines they can't uncross, financially, ethically, or legally. I live by one principle. If something doesn't add up, it never will. That mindset doesn't switch off when I get home. Sharon used to laugh about it. She'd call me the Human Policy Manual. I'd laugh along, pretending it was a joke. But she was right. I believe order is the only thing that keeps chaos from winning. Sharon worked in marketing. Fast, shiny, unpredictable. I met her at a company networking event 2 years ago. She was everything I wasn't. Quick to speak, dressed like every day was a stage, full of charm and boldness. I liked her energy. She said I made her feel grounded. We balanced each other, or at least I thought we did. Even then, I noticed small things. She was careless with details, missed meetings, told stories that didn't line up, spent money like it grew back overnight. Still, she made me laugh, and after years of predictability, that felt like a gift. When she moved in, I kept things separate, my mortgage, my accounts, even my car. Not because I didn't trust her, but because that's how I operate. Clear lines, clean records. So when I saw that video, I didn't see romance or heartbreak. I saw a violation of boundaries. 2 employees, one in a position of power over the other, acting like rules didn't exist. She thought she was just being reckless. I saw a compliance issue waiting to explode. That night, I didn't pace around or drink myself numb. I opened my notes app and started outlining what I already knew. Dates, excuses, patterns. I wasn't reacting as a boyfriend. I was documenting as an auditor. By the time I went to bed, the outline had a title. Case file, S. Miller/S. Grant, potential conflict of interest. I slept better than I had in months. Sharon came home close to midnight, quiet and tired, saying only that the meeting had run long. The next morning, she kissed me on the cheek before leaving for work. Big presentation today, she said, grabbing her coffee. Wish me luck. I smiled. You'll do great. She had no idea that I'd already started a report on her. When she left, I opened my laptop and reviewed my notes. The evidence was simple. The text about working late, the time-stamped video, the venue tag from Nathan's post. I didn't need much else to know what it was. At work, I avoided my own compliance team. Too close to home. Instead, I used the company's ethics hotline, the one meant for anonymous reports. I wrote clearly and professionally, citing inappropriate conduct between a senior manager and a subordinate, potentially leading to conflicts of interest and misuse of company resources. I didn't name myself anywhere. I attached the cropped still from the post with date and location metadata intact. Then I submitted it to Tina, the head of human resources, through the encrypted internal portal. That night, Sharon came home cheerful. "Guess what? We nailed the client pitch," she said, dropping her bag. "Scott was amazing. He covered me when I froze on one question." Her words hit me like a slow punch I didn't feel until seconds later. Scott, the man whose lap she'd been sitting on. I didn't flinch. "That's great," I said, handing her a glass of water. "You deserve a break." She smiled, tired but satisfied, and leaned back on the couch. "You're too good to me, you know that?" "Maybe," I said. She didn't notice the way I watched her then, not with anger, but with calculation. When she went to shower, I checked my phone. The report confirmation sat in my inbox. It had been forwarded to the Ethics Investigation Committee. Phase 1 was complete. By the time Sharon came out wrapped in her towel, I had already moved on to Phase 2, evidence control. By Friday, everything looked normal from the outside. Sharon left early, came home late, and kept saying things like, "We're in crunch mode. Scott's driving everyone hard." I smiled every time, but every word she spoke became another line in my notes. At lunch one day, I opened our shared rideshare app. She'd used it Tuesday night, drop-off point, rooftop lounge, Midtown. The charge was billed to her personal card, but I knew that company dinners there were always expensed later. Then Ziva, one of her co-workers I'd met once, posted a photo on her story, just a plate of appetizers with the caption, "Team night worth it." Same table layout, same neon lights. I took a screenshot and archived it. No hacking, no snooping. Everything I gathered was public or shared. I didn't cross a line. I just watched carefully while they crossed theirs. Saturday morning, Sharon stood by the counter, scrolling through her phone. "I think I'm getting sick of my team," she said, laughing. "Too many nights out. Scott insists on celebrating every small win." "Sounds exhausting," I said. "You should take a break from it." She shrugged. "After the quarter ends, maybe." Her casual tone only confirmed what I already knew. She didn't think anyone was watching. That made it easier for me to keep my face neutral, my tone calm. That afternoon, I sent a second anonymous report to Tina's department. It contained precise dates and subtle breadcrumbs, the rideshare logs, the bar's name, and a note about possible patterns of after-hours interaction between manager and subordinate. No emotion, just data. Then I waited. The hardest part of any audit is the quiet stretch, when you know the outcome is coming, but you can't see it yet. Sharon thought she was running her life like a story she controlled. She didn't realize she'd already stepped into mine, a report in progress, with her name on the cover page. The first sign came the following Wednesday. Sharon came home later than usual, her face pale and tense. She set her bag down too gently, the way people do when they're trying not to show they're shaking. "Rough day?" I asked, keeping my tone soft. She exhaled, rubbing her forehead. "You won't believe this. HR called me in, out of nowhere. Tina, the head of HR, wanted to ask a few questions." I nodded slowly. "About what?" She hesitated. "Scott, mostly. They asked if we ever socialize outside work, or travel together, or expense meals. It was weird, Kyle, like they were fishing for something." I leaned forward a little. "And what did you say?" She gave a quick, uneasy laugh. "I told the truth. That we're just co-workers, that he mentors me, that's all. I mean, it's true." Her voice cracked on true. I kept my expression mild, like I believed her. "That's good," I said. "Then you have nothing to worry about." She nodded, eyes darting away. "Yeah, nothing." That night, she barely touched her dinner. I noticed her phone lighting up again and again. Messages from Scott, no doubt. But she didn't open them near me. When she finally went to bed, I opened my laptop and composed one more anonymous email to HR. Not a long one this time, just a few sentences pointing out specific expense records and travel dates that wouldn't line up if they checked the database. There was a conference 2 months ago in Chicago. She told me it was a 2-day client visit. The receipts I'd seen from her shared folder listed a hotel upgrade, 2 guests, 1 room, paid on Scott's corporate card. I attached nothing, just mentioned the transaction ID. That was all HR would need. By Thursday, Sharon was restless. She checked her phone every few minutes, bit her nails, jumped when it buzzed. "Tina emailed again," she said quietly that night. "They want a follow-up tomorrow." I smiled faintly. Then just keep being honest. She didn't answer. The quiet between us stretched thin. Friday afternoon, the news broke. It came through a bland company-wide email that began with the usual corporate phrasing. We wish to inform you that Scott Daniels is no longer with the company, effective immediately. We thank him for his contributions and wish him the best in his future endeavors. Everyone in the office knew what that meant. I leaned back in my chair and read it twice. Then I drove home. Sharon was already there. The front door was unlocked, and her car was parked crookedly in the driveway. Inside, she sat on the couch with a cardboard box beside her, a plant, a few folders, a framed photo of us from last summer. She looked up, eyes red, cheeks streaked with tears. "They fired him," she whispered. "Scott's gone." I stood in the doorway. I saw the email. They called me in right after. Her voice trembled. Tina was there. HR, legal, someone from compliance. They showed me every detail. She pressed her palms against her eyes. I tried to explain, but it didn't matter. They suspended me until the final review. I walked to the coffee table, set my keys down, and placed a printed photo in front of her, the still frame from Nathan's rooftop post. Her breath caught. She stared at it, then at me. "You," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "It was you. You're the reason they knew." I didn't speak right away. I poured myself a glass of water, sat across from her, and looked her in the eye. "I reported what I saw," I said. "Nothing more." Her expression shifted. Anger, fear, disbelief, all fighting at once. "You destroyed my career." "No," I said calmly. "You destroyed it the moment you decided company rules and basic decency didn't apply to you." The words landed quietly, but hard. She looked down, shaking, unable to argue. We sat in silence for a long time. By the time the light faded completely, the distance between us felt final. Sharon didn't speak for a long time after that. Then she looked up, eyes wet but sharp. "You did this to punish me," she said. "You could have talked to me, Kyle. You didn't have to go nuclear." I kept my voice level. "If I wanted to punish you, I'd have made a scene. I didn't. I followed the procedure." "You're talking about our relationship like it's a report," she snapped. "Because that's what it became," I said. "You mixed your personal life with your professional one. You lied to both of us. I just made sure the right people knew." Her shoulders slumped. "I lost everything today. My job, my reputation, my future. Do you even care?" "Yes, I care about truth," I said quietly. "You can rebuild a career, but not on lies." She laughed bitterly. "Don't act noble. You wanted control. This is your way of proving you're always right." I stood and walked to the hallway. There was a suitcase waiting by the door. Clothes, toiletries, a few essentials I'd packed earlier in the day. "Your things are here," I said. "You'll stay with your sister for now. The rest of your belongings will be delivered next week." She froze. "You planned this?" "I planned to be ready," I replied. "That's what I do." Her voice cracked. "You think you've won something, but you haven't. You're alone, Kyle. You always will be." Maybe she was right, but that didn't change what had to happen. I opened the door. "This isn't revenge," I said. "It's accountability." She stared at me, tears streaking down her face. "You really believe that, don't you?" "I have to," I said. She grabbed the suitcase, walked past me, and stepped into the night. No slammed door, no screaming, just quiet footsteps fading down the path. When the door finally clicked shut, the house went completely still. For the first time in months, I didn't feel tension or anger, just a strange, heavy calm. The kind that comes after the final report is filed. It's been 6 weeks since that night. The house feels bigger now, quieter in a way that's both peaceful and hollow. Sharon moved in with her sister. I know, because she sent one last message. "I'm sorry for everything. I didn't think it would end like this." I never replied. At work, the investigation wrapped up. Scott was officially terminated for ethical misconduct and misuse of company funds. His name vanished from the leadership roster within days. Word spread fast in our industry. Last I heard, he's struggling to get another position. As for Sharon, HR finalized her dismissal 2 weeks later. No severance, no reference. Just a line on her record that said, "Violation of company policy." She tried applying elsewhere, but people talk. A marketing manager caught in a scandal isn't an easy sell. She's been freelancing on odd projects. I don't take joy in that. I didn't want her life ruined. I wanted the truth exposed. She built her world on shortcuts and secrets, and when the audit came, it collapsed. That's not cruelty. That's a consequence. Sometimes, late at night, I catch myself remembering how she used to laugh. Loud, reckless, unfiltered. There was life in her I'll never have. But where she saw freedom, I saw risk, and risk always comes due. I kept the photo for a while, the one from Nathan's post, stored in a folder marked Closed Cases. Last night, I deleted it, not out of forgiveness, but because the evidence had served its purpose. The system worked. She said she was working late. An hour later, her coworker accidentally posted a photo that ended everything. I don't celebrate what happened. I just understand it. Because when you live by structure, even heartbreak has to make sense. And this one did, perfectly. Thank you for watching.